insane with impunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Bringing Up Baby.
Another movie that I had heard of but wasn't really familiar with.
Yeah, I didn't know that baby didn't refer to a baby.
Right. The Howard Hawks directed this, which I think I've seen some other Howard Hawks stuff. This is a pretty kind of similar to It Can't Take You With You. It's pretty like classical Howard Hawks, like screwball comedy. A lot of fast talking.
There's a lot of fast talking in this
The
movie.
premise of this movie is insane. I feel like I did not really know what the premise of this movie was going into it, and then about halfway through, once it's kind of clear what the premise of this movie is, I was like, wait, this is insane. This can't be what this movie's about.
I mean, really, this movie is just like extreme chaos. It is like it's less plot and more just like what can happen next that will cause the most chaos in everyone's life.
Yes, but it holds together very well, I think, compared to some other movies with similar zaniness to them. This one is very well written, just in terms of like having things that will like show up in the beginning, that'll come back at the end, and just it's a well built screenplay. This movie,
I guess that's true. It is like as far as it's like a tight script.
Yeah,
as far as like everything kind of being relevant and tying into itself
while still being pretty wacky.
It's expansive in a lot of ways too.
Yeah.
I guess the premise of this movie is that Cary Grant plays a zoologist or a paleontologist or something like that.
Yeah, he's working on some dinosaur bones.
He's very buttoned up and kind of tight, and
he's got glasses. He's always worried about stuff.
And the thing that he's most worried about, even though his wedding is tomorrow, is securing a $1 million grant from a rich benefactor to the museum that he works at, and helping and trying to finish his dinosaur skeleton that he's been working on for 4 years.
Yeah.
And so to that end, his wife, who says, or his fiance, who says, don't worry about our wedding. Like our wedding is purely about your career. It has nothing to do with anything domestic. And at her urging, he goes golfing with the lawyer of the rich benefactor. And so the story kind of just launches off from that golf course when he runs into Katharine Hepburn playing a character named Susan, who is just chaos incarnate as a person. She is just like, taking other people's golf balls and playing with them. She hops into his car and doesn't realize that it's his and just starts driving away, but while she's driving away, she smashes into a tree and other cars and doesn't have a care in the world. And this is, in my mind, the first appearance of the manic pixie dream girl, with the emphasis on manic.
I don't think that you're alone in that, because I was reading up on this movie and it has been cited elsewhere as like, if not the first example, like a very early example of that trope, kind of. Like, I think the manic aspect has kind of gotten lost more recent, when that kind of like character archetype shows up. I feel like the manic is usually downplayed.
Right.
Whereas in this it is like manic, and then like in tiny letters, Pixie Dream Girl. Like that stuff. It's mostly that she's manic. Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn are both, especially Cary Grant though, are both so good at just like the physicality, like physical comedy. Like Cary Grant does so much of just like slipping on banana peels and like getting flustered and nervous and angry and running around and yelling at people, and you can feel his like his anxiety just building and building through every single scene. He starts off the movie pretty anxious, and then it gets progressively worse over the course of the movie.
And I think you experienced that too. This movie is like towing a very strange line of being a comedy movie, but you are so stressed the entire time.
Well, because it's that thing of like, he has to get home because he has a wedding tomorrow, and he also has all these like important business things he has to do. And Katharine Hepburn just does not give a shit whatsoever and keeps pulling him further and further, and like steals a car and like drives off with him in it. And he's like, what are we doing? It's like, I just took this guy's car. And he's like, no, I need to go home.
Oh, and we haven't mentioned the titular baby,
right.
Who is maybe, the most kind of on paper insane, wild thing that she brings into his life, which is a leopard. It is a leopard named Baby, who is a kind of constant thorn in their side because he keeps doing leopard things.
Well, because this movie already had this setup of like a good screwball comedy of like these two mismatched people who like meet by happenstance, and there's all this chaos that results from that. But it's like they clearly have so much like chemistry. Like the scene at the beginning when you're introduced to Cary Grant and his fiance is like the most obvious, immediate, like, oh, this marriage is not going to happen. Like 1,000%. This is the most doomed marriage in history. And so it already has this like pretty compelling, solid comedy setup. And then it's like, also there's a leopard.
And you'd think it'd be like too much of an extra step, but somehow it works.
It's sort of a leopard on a hat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does it works. It heightens all these other plot threads so much just by like, also there's a leopard there.
Right, and you don't like, sometimes they've put the leopard away and so they can focus on other things. I was kind of imagining when I, heard what this movie was actually about, a leopard. I kind of imagined that it would be very leopard focused, but really it's just focused on chaos, and a leopard is one of the zanier things that occasionally pops up. But they do take time to like, the leopard's in a cage for now, let's have some other flavors of chaos.
It's a real leopard in this movie, which is both on set with the actors sometimes, but a lot of the time is sort of very cleverly like composited in or done through like rear projection or like split screen.
Yeah. There are some leopard scenes where they use a double exposure. You can like see some slight translucencies in them. But it's very well done, only when you kind of just see in the corners,
Yeah. I think the one of the only times it's really noticeable is there's a bit where Katharine Hepburn is holding a leash for the leopard, and you can see that the leash that she's holding does not line up with the leash that's attached to the leopard. But it's like, otherwise it's pretty seamless. And there's also just scenes in this where I'm like, that's a leopard. Like this, I'm like afraid for the actors.
Yeah, it adds to the tension a lot that they're just like casually sitting there while a wild animal is behind them.
Yeah. So
there are two leopards in here. Baby is a very friendly looking leopard, and then there's another one who is a very angry, mean looking leopard.
Yeah. There's also a scene where I believe it's Baby, the leopard, gets into a fight with George the dog, who's Katharine Hepburn's character's dog, who's played by Skippy, who was the dog in the Thin Man movies. Great dog acting from Skippy.
We keep running into Skippy.
Yeah. There's a scene where Baby and George get into a fight, and it's like, that's just a leopard and a dog fighting. And I'm like, this is like, I feel the tension of that just because it's like, that's just a dog and a leopard that they like put in a room together. And it's scary.
Yeah. They seed that thing earlier in the movie too, when, she receives Baby in the mail, and there's a letter that comes with him, and the letter says Baby loves dogs, and then she says, do they mean she like in a friendly way or in an eating way?
Yeah, it's definitely kind of like, I feel like it probably was not like a safe set for either of those animals to be on, but I guess it's funny.
Yeah.
I guess it was worth it.
I think they're okay. Maybe they were just playing.
I mean,
it kind of looked like they were playing.
Skippy went on to be in more Thin Man movies after this, so clearly Skippy was okay. There's a bit in this movie that I enjoy in pretty much any movie when Cary Grant decides to take a shower, and Katharine Hepburn steals his clothes, and so he has to wear like a very like frilly robe for a couple of scenes. It's the only thing that he has that is like available. And I just find that bit always very funny when someone is like forced to wear silly clothing or like something incongruous. Like, it's funny in Pulp Fiction when they have to wear like goofy t-shirts. It's funny in any movie when someone is like, because I feel like that's just a thing in life where it's like you've been at someone's house or you're like at a theme park or something. And you're like, my shirt is ruined. I have to buy a goofy shirt that I don't like, that I don't want to wear, but that's all that's here.
And he doesn't like it, but he's more stressed about other things,
right?
Mainly.
Yeah.
But then he's confronted about his frilly robe that he's wearing.
Yeah.
And he shouts, "Maybe I've just gone gay all of a sudden," you know?
Whilst jumping in the air.
Yeah. Yes. and looking a little fruity while he does it.
As far as I can tell, that's, at least for the things that we've watched with the show, the first time I think that gay has been used in this context of not just like lighthearted and happy.
Yeah.
I don't know, but even that is the sort of like, I don't know how much that was in common usage at the time. I think it was by the 1930s.
From Wikipedia, which, you know, is a source.
Suspect source, yeah.
It's saying that it was known, but not super common, super known to the general public until the late 60s. But, you know, it's, you know, he was in Hollywood.
Right.
And also,
people in Hollywood know.
I think I mean, and also there were kind of like rumors at the time that like Cary Grant might have been gay or bi.
Oh yeah.
So at least he like, you know, had close relationships with men.
What is the thing like in like biographies? And it's like, oh man, like Cary Grant and his very close male friend that he lives with and like goes to the pool with every day. They're such good friends.
So I, you know, and it was an ad lib too. So I think you know, he probably knew what he was doing.
Yeah. At a certain point, the chaos reaches a head, and every character is arrested and thrown in jail. And Katharine Hepburn kind of tries to get out of it by kind of playing a femme fatale kind of character, and pretending that she's like a smooth criminal.
Mm-hmm.
And she gives a couple of people aliases, and they are Mickey the Mouse and Donald the Duck, which it's kind of fun just because that it's like a contemporary reference to Disney cartoons, despite this being an RKO picture. What if they had to pay Disney for the rights? Maybe Disney wasn't doing that yet.
It's a joke.
Yeah, it's parody, so it's okay. But yeah, fun movie. I think Cary Grant had popped up in another movie before that we watched. I think he was in Merrily We Go to Hell for like one scene. This is first like lead that we've seen him do, and same with Katharine Hepburn. 3 big classical Hollywood actors popping up this episode.
Oh yeah.
And all I think in fairly kind of typical roles for them. I think the good kind of showcases for each of their kind of most well-known types, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Although I think that Katharine Hepburn kind of didn't really do many like screwball comedies after this. I think like because this movie did pretty poorly at the box office, she ended up kind of finding other types of roles afterwards.
Yeah, I know that there's at least a few other like big comedies that she did though. So I'm like Philadelphia Story I've seen, which is her with Cary Grant and Jimmy Stewart. I think that's like 40 or 41. We'll get to it. And yeah, very good example of like the Howard Hawks thing of like a lot of overlapping dialogue, a lot of like fast talking stuff.
Yeah. I Another thing we'll have to prepare for is so
30s
after
30s
this.
slang getting thrown at the screen with abandon.
Yeah. Uh, so I watched this movie twice, and both times that I watched it, it was a little hard to take in what I just watched because I was so exhausted by the end of it. I felt like both times I felt like I needed to just take a breath afterward, you know. And I was talking to Jack Vernick of our Irma Vep episode about it, and he says that the 1940 Howard Hawks movie, His Girl Friday, is about 3 times as dense and fast talking. Uh,
Mm.
it is. He was saying that the first time he watched it, he hated it because of just like how overwhelming it was. So I'm interested to see how that goes. Because I guess what I'm saying is that Howard Hawks starts to go even further with
Yeah,
this.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it should be fun.